Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's look at the 2014 NCHSAA playoffs. I'm Dale Ross.
And I'm Matt Morrow.
And Matt, this next game is a return of West Charlotte to the playoffs. Number 14 seed West Charlotte at 5-6, going against number 3 seed Lake Norman, who finished the season 10-1 with a big win over their arch rival Mooresville, who was undefeated. You and I both know West Charlotte from our playing days, and we know, we're both Charlotte guys, and we know that West Charlotte has been the perennial guys forever until, I guess, after the last winning season. Well, they did have that one winning season, but last 3 seasons they very bad records, decided to bring in an old guy that played at West Charlotte. Everyone knew by name, Mo Collins, who had great success in college and went on to the NFL. Had been helping youth across the board, trying to help them get to the next level. I had a chance I didn't get to know Mo Collins well, and I wish I had. I thought I had more time. But I met him, we had a conversation about 2 years ago at North Mac West Charlotte basketball game. He was standing there, and I was shooting pictures, and he's like, "Hey, camera guy," we didn't know each other, and we got to talking, and I told him I thought I recognized him. He said, Mo Collins, and oh yeah, and then I said, you really should be helping your team. West Charlotte really needs you. And his comment to me was, yeah, when the time's right, I think I would like to go back and coach. And of course, he took the team over this past year, and his mission, of course, was to bring pride back to West Charlotte. That was one thing that they'd been lacking. Pride within themselves to be better, to be West Charlotte. The roar of the lion, and he did that. And what his efforts have gotten them into the state playoffs. Of course, Mo passed away a couple of weeks ago, and my only thoughts here are, what are the players doing? Your coach got you here, even though he wasn't with you last week, and the win that you needed to get into the playoffs. Everything that he taught you got you here, and everything that you've been doing and the staff has been doing has got you to the playoffs. Now you got, I hate to say it, you finally earn your way back into the playoffs, and now you got to face a team like Lake Norman. Lake Norman has a player that we many times last year we named Player of the Year. Yeah. He was the John Madden. You couldn't even do the stuff he was doing in Madden if you wanted to. The kid is just that dynamic. Of course, we're talking about Josh Ladowski. So, personally, I think, West Charlotte's kind of a tough task containing that Lake Norman offense. So, West Charlotte's got speed. They've got, when I saw them back to back from Vance in Vance games. Vance had played A.L. Brown the week before, and I noted the only difference in the 2 games was that in the A.L. Brown game, on number 5, I can't think of his name now.
Donovan Spencer.
Yeah, Donovan Spencer. He had all those yards, and it was because he was hitting the edge and breaking away. And then, switch over to the West Charlotte game, that wasn't happening. Now, Vance still won big, but Vance wasn't able to break, Spencer, or nobody was able to get on the edge and break away, because West Charlotte had the speed to chase them down. But it's going to take a whole lot, I think, to play against this Lake Norman offense. And, of course, the flip side is going to be, can they generate any offense against Lake Norman?
Well, the thing with West Charlotte is they're going to, come right at you and hit you in the mouth. That's the mentality, Mo Collins wanted on his offense.
Right.
And, we faced them early in the season, and, we had a heck of a game going against them. But, no matter what, they kept, pounding the football. And I think that's going to be their offensive game plan against Lake Norman, to keep that offense off the field, pound the football in that I formation. They got a big fullback, and they got Prelo Greer in the backfield, and they can run the ball downhill. Lake Norman's defense is, not the strongest defense. Mooresville is a heavy run team, and they put up, good yardage and points against them last week. So, look for West Charlotte to try to emulate some of those things, running out of that I formation and to slow the game down. Defensively, I think West Charlotte's going to play a bend but don't break defense. They're going to try to not, give up the big play to Ladowski and his receivers. They're going to probably try to contain rush him and keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get outside and do all the things that he does so well. And, other teams I'm sure have tried that same strategy against Lake Norman and, have not been successful. But the difference is, like you said, West Charlotte does have athletes. And, they'll be able to, maybe contain a play that would normally go for a touchdown and keep it to maybe a first down to where, you're taking more time off the clock. But I think West Charlotte's really just got to shorten the game. Pound that, running back like I just said and play some contained defense. And for Lake Norman, you want to get West Charlotte behind early. Make them come out of their comfort zone. West Charlotte's not a passing team. They can throw the ball a little bit, but that's not what they want to do. They want to run the ball first off. So, you got to contrast the styles here. And, the winner of this game is going to be which team can impose what they want to do on the other. And, Lake Norman being 10-1 and having put up a lot of numbers all season, they look like a heavy favorite here. But I'm going to tell you something. Mo Collins meant a lot to that school and a lot to that team. You cannot count out that factor, in this ball game, because right now they're where they wanted to be this season in the playoffs. And when a team is playing with emotion, that's something that you can't, measure when you're, looking at these games as an analyst like we are. I mean, I've seen it, I've been on both sides of it as a player and a coach. And once that emotion hits, you can play above, what you think you can do. And, if you're Lake Norman, you cannot overlook this West Charlotte team, because they're going to be fired up and, they're going to be wanting to send a message, for their fallen coach and their return to the playoffs as well. So they're playing for a lot.
Exactly. So there's potential for a bit of a ball game here, depending on how West Charlotte turns out, and of course what Lake Norman's thinking. Big for you West Charlotte kids. It's going to be one of the biggest environments you've been in as far as fans are concerned. It's they support their teams well, a lot better than what you've seen in your little conference run and maybe some of your other runs. It'll be more like I don't know what your turnout was for the Harding game. Was it a good?
It was pretty good. We had some weather that came through that kind of affected it in the end, but it was pretty good.
If you're familiar with Harding West Charlotte games in the past, or West Meck West Charlotte games in the past, the kinds of crowds that can come there, that's what you're going to see, except they're all going to be against you. So it should be a good ball game for you people. Have fun and play safe.
Jump up, man!